Now you can put it on.
Okay. Thanks everybody for being here. I've got 7:06 p.m. This is the Marinwood CSD Board of Directors Tuesday, August 12th meeting. There are currently no members of the public here, so I am not going to worry about reading the instructions. I'm going to call the meeting to order and pledge allegiance. Go for it.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right.
I guess Belle's the loud one. I don't know, they're pretty big. They're just not in sync. They're not always in sync.
Right.
They say it, just not in
Looking
sync.
to adopt the agenda. Does anybody have any questions or suggestions for change on the agenda?
I do not.
Lisa, you all good?
Good.
Okay. All right. So we're going to go ahead and adopt the agenda as printed. Consent calendar, draft minutes, and bills paid. Any questions?
Like regular summer.
Yeah, totally right.
July is always the big bills paid month.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
you have a lot of annual payments that get made that first month, not to mention you have higher payroll. And we typically pay 2 months worth of health benefit payments in the course of the month.
Okay.
That's for an accounting reason. We generally pay the month before, but just to keep accounting clean for July, we pay right after
Yeah.
the first of the month.
Okay. Yeah, the only thing that I saw that was just out of curiosity was the backflow valve by, I think was it Mike Testa? I was just curious what broke. Am I wrong? I saw it somewhere earlier.
Yeah, that's,
Was that pool related or was that just in here?
9546.
9546.
On page, on the last page, like a couple, like 10, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9.
It says, yeah, backflow repair with Mike Testa.
yeah, we have devices for all of our water meters that prevent the water supply from getting contaminated.
Oh,
So
gotcha.
we have to get them tested every year.
Oh, okay,
This
cool.
is our- And we had one that didn't, or actually two that didn't pass the test and needed, some seals had failed and they needed to be repaired. So that was part of the repair job.
Awesome. And what is that? And again, these are just out of curiosity. I'm not questioning them. Vent track repair?
That's the brand, that's our lawnmower.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah, that's the brand name.
Okay.
It's the do-it-all.
Yeah, right, it's lawnmower, aerator, trencher,
Oh, that.
small tractor, it does, yeah. it's-
Okay.
yeah.
Okay.
Swiss Army knife lawnmower.
Right. Okay. Anybody else have any questions, comments, concerns? All right. Do I hear a motion?
Motion to approve. I'll second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
I'm sorry, I missed the second.
Aye.
Oh,
Swan.
Lisa, it's a-
Lisa, I did second.
and all those present were in favor. There is no public, so we're gonna skip over D, public comment, and go E, district matters. E1, the fiscal year 24-25, year-end P&L financial statement.
Great. It is hopeful to me that we've got a board that's been together for a while, so this isn't the first time you all have seen these. I think you know what you're looking at by this point. All the same, I try to give you a detailed staff report through them. This was kind of a surprising year in that from an operating perspective, our operating revenue exceeded our operating expenditures by about 1.25 million, which is a lot more than we've had in the past. I tried to pinpoint some of the reasons why we had the disparity in these bullet points you can see on the front page. Our total ad valorem / property tax, for those who aren't familiar with the phrase, beat our forecast by about $166,000. Our interest revenue was really a big driver. We typically don't, we budget interest at like 5,000 just as a budget placeholder. but we received a little over 271,000 on that, so that's a big difference, exceeding that by about 266. And then our pool and recreation program revenue exceeded forecast by $184,000. So that alone starts to build a pretty big gap in there. And I will say with rec, it's always a little bit tricky to look at those things. They do an outstanding job with rec, and they drive a lot of participation and look at how the fees are based and are very conscientious about expenditures. But again, a good chunk of that rec revenue actually came from the end of last summer, with a smaller portion of that coming from the beginning of this summer. Which kind of segues in that, you know, a little 1.025 million in unearned revenue, which was cash on hand that we brought in this year, is actually gets deferred until next fiscal year. So we won't recognize that on our books until next fiscal year.
Okay.
Because that is people who paid for programs, paid prior, thank you, paid prior to June 30th for a program that happens July 1st or later.
No,
Yeah, you come on in.
come on in and sit with us.
Sure?
Yes.
Yeah, with
I
that
don't
being
know,
said.
it seems like I shouldn't be here. Good to see you, buddy.
Another note, just in terms of that revenue that exceeds expenditure, is, you know, we do budget as an expenditure in the budget for our capital reserves designation that we put towards on a balance sheet every year, but that's not an actual expenditure, so that alone starts to lead to that gap as well, because it shows 100,000 that we didn't spend. But again, I put it on there strictly for budgeting purpose, so it gives a better, clearer picture of if we want to put aside 100,000, how does that impact the rest of the budget? And so that's put into that. Otherwise, you can see at the bottom of the front page, we did accomplish quite a bit on the capital side. You know, a couple of the really big ones, obviously purchased a new utility vehicle for the park guys, did a large repair and resurface to all of the community center patios, and then obviously the bunk room, which Lisa can touch on a little bit because we gave the fire commission a little bit of a brief tour over there so they could take a look at it. And then the only thing, capital that we didn't do, and it seems like this just happens every year because the thing just won't die on us, is that ADA pool chip.
Which is great, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Measure A, we didn't spend any Measure A money because we kind of looked to move that project to this coming off season for the pool, but the pool replaster is still the big one. We have 195,000 as of 6/30/25 available in Measure A funds. That should easily cover that, not to mention we will have Measure A coming in. So I think we're comfortable there, and then let us as a staff and our limited resources get through that project, and then we can look at where that finishes, where we are with additional funding, and we can start discussing and identifying potential future projects. The OPEB trust did really good again, another 100,000 in there, plus it performed well as an investment vehicle. We have just under 937,000 in our OPEB trust now at this point, so you're getting close to that magic 7-figure number, which looks nice. It's an investment account, so market turns down, investments turn down, whatever happens there. But that's still climbing really well. And then in summary, again, hats off to all the staff here and everybody for just being very diligent in how they spend and looking at fees, as well as maximizing revenues. We ended the year with approximately 10.1 million in our general fund account from a balance sheet perspective. 337,000 and change of that is designated funds for MWPA, but it's still a really nice growth. It gives us a lot of stability, and I don't know, I'll touch on it later in my report, but if you read the draft municipal service review, they certainly made a lot of comment about kind of the fiscal sustainability and improvement of the district. So.
Congratulations, that's like amazing. Yeah.
We're good.
Does anybody feel we're on page 6?
I know.
I mean,
You always do. Any questions, any comments, anything anybody wants to bring up?
No, it gets stronger every year.
Yeah, right?
Yeah. Staff is doing an exceptional job. And like the last 5 years, it's just been growing, which is what we've been hoping for. It's what I came on the board for.
Well, thank you.
So Bill gets all the credit.
Right?
Good job,
It's
Bill.
all Bill. It's all Bill. So on anything?
I guess, awesome, great job, everybody. Now, what do we do with the trust? Do we know if we're going to pay down some of the liabilities, or?
I hate to keep kicking that can. I definitely think it's a conversation. I'll be very honest when I tell you, I've had zero bandwidth
I know.
to look at it whatsoever. It seems like the minute we get something off the plate, 3 new big things jump on the plate that take a lot of time and energy. But I do believe that it is something that, yes, you're absolutely at a point, whether that's adding to the trust, whether that's setting up our own low-risk investment accounts as genuine bona fide reserves, like within what's known as California Class, which is an investment vehicle almost exclusively made up of special districts and 4 special districts. It's endorsed by the Special District Association, California, CSDA. So there is a lot of avenues there, and Savan, I recognize that, I don't want to say I've been neglectful, but it hasn't received the level of attention I should be giving it and pushing up to all of you.
No, I get it, I'm just gonna keep asking,
Mhm.
because I'm happy to see that the number's growing, and I just have anxiety about the liabilities. So, and again, as a board member, anything I can do to do research or whatever, please let me know, and I will do it for you, what I can, and, happy to help. I just don't wanna do things that you don't want me to do. So I'm gonna tell
No,
you.
it's
I
just,
insert myself already in other people's stuff that needs to get done, so I will not do it until you tell me to.
Savan, I appreciate the offer. I'm sure
Yeah.
if I can just clear a little bit of the
I know,
dust that's up to my eyebrows right now.
it's not like we don't have
it
a
would be
lot
nice-
going on,
It
yeah.
would be nice to have somebody else kind of also sitting in and looking at these things and moving it, because we're ready. I think we're in a financial position to be there. I think we're financially stable and mature enough that this is what we should be doing. That's how you create long-term sustainability. So, and then you give yourself some rainy day options.
Alright.
I will drop it now.
Anything from you, Kathleen? Lisa? I'm all good. I am so impressed.
Yeah, there wasn't a lot of notes. I mean, my back page is
Right.
really minimal on this because a lot of it I thought was pretty straightforward, easily understood, but just a couple other things that had larger variances than they would normally have. I put in the notes back there.
I do have a question. I
Okay.
noticed. This is with that big project on our expense, correct?
That big project was 2 fiscal years ago. That didn't happen. That didn't happen in this
But when
fiscal
we
year.
if we get that money back,
It'll be
The
even better.
Then that would
big,
just-
big if. It would be pennies from heaven, icing on the cake.
I get it, but then that would it would affect the year that we get it in.
Yes.
Okay.
Is that the FEMA funds we were referring to?
Yes.
We don't say that word. It delays it by like 3 more weeks.
Each time you mention
3
it.
weeks. If it was only delayed 3 weeks, Kathleen, I'd be happy as a clam.
Especially
This
since
is,
you said 2 fiscal years ago, really? My
this-
timeline's a little off.
FEMA is in such wild disarray. I mean, my last couple emails haven't even been answered. It's,
I get it, but this
I have
is
no
still we're still
Yes.
doing very well, knowing that we funded that,
correct.
and then is this in a savings account locked away somewhere.
I'm so thankful that we were able to do that, because imagine had we waited, we didn't have the funding, we had to wait,
Mhm.
what that would have looked like in terms of the
Yeah, that
pool
would have been
and
awesome.
our continuing revenue.
Alright, you'd have had a pool maintenance filtration building in a creek
Yeah,
with a lot bigger problems.
What, swimming in the creek?
What's the rate that we're paying on the loan for the maintenance facility?
Oh boy, Chris, off the top of my head, I wanna say it's something like 2.45%.
Yeah, it was
Okay.
really low.
Incredibly
We did
It was
because
incredibly
really
low
Yeah.
because rather than have a higher rate, we paid closing costs
Okay.
on the loan itself, so there was like a $30,000 upfront closing cost that actually drove the rate down. And a couple of the things, I mean, it's good you bring these up, because obviously, I know we've talked about this before, but, like on the fire department, the long-term debt payments from last year, that paid off already.
Right.
You know, so that came off for this 25,
Right,
26 budget.
Okay.
So in terms of our long-term, not pension OPEB debt, the maintenance facility is it.
Right.
And if we really wanted to, although I think we have to wait.
Yeah, but there was a payment penalty on at least one of the loans. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. Okay.
Most of them do.
Yeah, just curious. Okay, cool.
But it was only a 5-year setup too. And we've already been paying it for, what, 2, 3 years?
3 years.
Oh.
3 years?
Yeah,
Oh, you mean
so-
for a timeline?
Yeah, I know. But that'll come down, because when we borrow $650
Yeah.
and our principal payments.
We're paying about 65.
Right. So there you go.
Okay. All right. E2, district manager report.
Good. Segue right in. I just talked about the LAFCO municipal service review. I forwarded and provided you all, and the link is also included in the report here. They've released their draft. It is open to public comment at this point in time. I definitely, last time LAFCO went through this, they used outside consultants to build it. They did a fine job. It was a fine report. This time they have in-house staff who were able to do this. It was an incredibly collaborative. I had a couple meetings, a lot of phone calls. I feel like they listened to what we were saying, looked to us. You know, I had some very standard, straightforward requests, financials, things along those lines that are what they are. But I'm personally, I think that the report represents our district well, represents our district accurately. I really, from my position, don't have any remaining comments to put forward towards it. I do encourage you, if nothing else, to go in there and look at the determinations that they put towards the beginning of our section or right before our section. A lot of it has to do kind of with long-term prognosis of fire and things along those lines, and what they would recommend without having any real statutory authority to make those things happen, just the authority to approve it if we wanted to make it happen or deny it. But I do encourage you to look at that. And again, I'm happy with how it all came out, and I definitely think it represents our agency accurately at this point in time, which is exactly what it is. It's a snapshot of a point in time. It's open to the public until September 15th. It will, if anybody is interested, it will be presented at the LAFCO Commissioner meeting on August 14th, with anticipated for final approval at the October LAFCO meeting. All of those meetings are also open to the public. If there was comments or a need or desire to bring LAFCO in to formally present it, they have offered to do that. Again, there's zero surprises in this, and I think it's a well-written, good document. I don't know that that's needed. I think it'd be more for public benefit of our community to do that, and exactly. But that is, again, a decision entirely up to you. I told them I would let them know. Boy. Our payroll's been a mess. So the nice thing is our employees are getting paid properly and they're getting paid on time. Every aspect beyond that has been a disaster with ADP. We learned kind of inadvertently that they have not been filing and submitting our required state payroll taxes. We're working on this, solving this issue. Hopefully I'll have a long-term solution in the coming weeks. So I'll just kind of leave it at that. But yeah, it has been one challenge after the next with ADP, and that was kind of the last straw.
Did
for
we
that.
know that we had 2 different numbers?
Yes, we knew. And yes, they knew because they inherited our account from our old payroll company, which had all of that. It's not unique, but it's also not common. The reason we have 2 numbers, my understanding, both of these date back to 1972. As a government agency, we don't pay into SDI, and so California assigned us multiple EDD numbers, one that is strictly for state unemployment and ETT, employer taxes, and a separate number that is for reporting state income tax, which is a employee tax. It's the best thing I can tell you is they're just unwilling to do it because their systems aren't set up to do it that way. So they have, made some proposals. I'm battling constantly with them on what they owe. We certainly have some penalties and interest fees being incurred by the state. We'll see where this winds up. I recognize that they're a behemoth of a company with, I am sure, a Great Wall of China-sized legal department on their side, but they executed the agreement. It was clearly on them, and there's no small print in there that says, unless you have 2 EDD numbers. That said, I don't know how much it's worth it going down a real legal path on something like this, because they're gonna fight it tooth and nail, and I'm sure they have some sort of small print in there somewhere, but so far they've been somewhat communicative, that they will try to get us the information that we need somebody else to file it, and that they are willing to resolve us for the differences in costs as well as any penalties and interest incurred. So more to come, but it's been a nightmare, and it's been taking an enormous amount of time for both Tiffany and myself.
Can I ask another question?
Okay,
Are we gonna continue with them then?
what's that?
Are we gonna continue with them? or-
That is to be determined.
Okay.
To be determined. I'll have a better update for you by this time next month, I'm sure.
Okay.
Other items of note, and this is also touched on in the fire chief report, but we're at that time again to adopt the annual fire code update. Deputy Chief Sinnott has already gotten us everything that we need. So I'm incredibly grateful to him and to Chief Roman for their leadership and guidance. It is anticipated that it will be presented at both the October and the November board meetings, with the first reading in October and approval in November. We also have to put out public notices in the papers for this, everything else. So with them, they've basically given me a chart of, do this on this date, do this on this date, and everything's written up. I bless them because they're making my life a lot easier with it all, but that is coming. However, it also brought to my attention a good notice. He's trying to schedule everything for us, that the November board meeting is currently scheduled for Tuesday, November 11th, which is a district recognized federal holiday. So we're typically closed for business on that day. Schools aren't in session on those days.
So you don't wanna come in?
I am looking, the fact that our entire district is closed for business on that
I
day.
love how all of you are like, yeah.
I
You
would
can.
like to look at hosting an alternative date that's not a federal holiday. As of right now, Monday the 10th or Wednesday the 12th are both open and available for this room. If everybody needs to go back and confer with their calendars, I can follow up with you. We can also do the very following Tuesday, if Tuesdays are the days that work best for everybody, which would be, what, the 18th?
18th.
Is also an available option. So we can either discuss and peg something now, or I can follow up in a separate email.
I like the 18th. I teach Wednesdays.
Okay. I was gonna say, as long as, I don't think the 10th would be great, because,
No, if it's a holiday weekend.
right, exactly.
Well, and it's also my husband's birthday.
Oh.
Because-
Yeah, I don't know if it's a
The
holiday
10th?
weekend. Monday the 10th, everybody's gonna be in school and back.
Everybody's gonna be in
This is
school.
like one of those
No,
weird
it's just-
standalone.
There's not a long
There's-
time,
no.
except for Christmas.
You just did air quotes?
Yeah, it's one day.
Right.
Banks are closed and
One day on the calendar,
government
yes.
agencies are closed and schools are closed and everybody else, it's business as usual.
Yeah.
And nobody's gonna take that Monday off, 4-day weekend.
Oh, well, you never know.
Sarcasm. And I think, I think November 18th.
Works.
I think that's fine.
Yeah. I'm good with that.
So,
Before I
Italy,
fully,
No, the next meeting I will.
I'll send out a follow-up email, just give everybody a chance to
That's right.
really look at your calendar, your family calendar, your other work calendars, and just confirm, and then if that's the case, then we'll put this in writing and just say we're gonna do it on Tuesday the 18th.
November 18th. That would be at 7 o'clock?
Not 7:30.
or 7:12, or whenever you want to show up, no, it's cool. That was not me, for the record.
Which is surprising.
I'm learning from the best.
There we go.
All right.
Okay, so tentatively Tuesday, November 18th.
Mhm.
I'll send a follow-up, ask everybody for a direct response, only me, confirming you can do that date. And then we'll put it in stone, which means
Right.
writing it on a paper calendar in the office in the front.
One that clearly doesn't have all the national holidays marked. We good there? Everybody good? Any questions, any follow-up? You good?
Yep.
Okay. Fire department matters. Anybody have any questions about the minutes?
I don't know if Lisa wanted to touch on the,
Oh, the bunkhouse.
Yeah, so I got a tour of the new bunk rooms, and I'm not sure what I was expecting, but I was really impressed. I don't know if you all have seen it yet.
Mhm.
It was just really well done. It's separated into 3 different rooms, each equipped with either 2 or 3
three.
Murphy beds, where one could be put down, so everyone has their own bed, and then they put down their bed and put up the other 2 beds when it's their turn to be in the room. So it was just, very, very well designed. We all got a tour of the area there and got to ask questions, and, yeah, I mean, to the extent, if you ever have a chance to take a look at it, I highly recommend. So really, really good work there. I know that's been said multiple times, but I'm gonna echo that here as well.
And they're happy with the rooms?
Yeah, they love it.
Okay, good.
They love it. I would just reiterate what Lisa said. If you get a chance to go over and look at it, you should. I know and it's been brought up, they appreciate opportunities to interact with the board. I would encourage you to go over and, use that as your excuse to go over and then just chat with them for a little bit, if you have time to do it. But anyway, sorry, go ahead, Lisa.
That was really it. I mean, we got a tour. I mean, I think the minutes pretty much cover everything that was covered in the meeting. Talking about the fire code adoption, and how that is coming. There was also quite a bit of talk about, insurance and, kind of how insurance is going to be, looked at moving forward with some of the new zoning that we're doing. And some interesting conversation as well about Zone 0 coming up as well, which I hadn't been aware of that before, so I learned quite a bit about that too. Other than that, I mean, that's really all that's top of mind. I don't know, Eric, if there's anything else you wanted to share?
I think you hit it.
All right. You good there? Fire chief, oops, sorry.
Oh, no, I wasn't fire chief.
Fire chief report.
Uh,
Are you gonna read it?
No, I was
What did you
had
do?
a question.
Oh, okay.
I'll wait till Eric.
Well, I would just leave it to you, the question. And actually, you can see, this is kind of the chart on the back page here that Chief Sinnott had put together for us, just in terms of, here's the steps to adopting the fire code and when
Oh, okay.
public releases need to go out. He had tentatively just kind of said, what did he put on here, 11/12, looking at the day after, but I'll just let him know that we're gonna do that on 11/18 instead. So, I don't believe that'll be an issue.
Okay. Getting the fire chief's report, I just wanted to congratulate Engineer Smith on retiring, right? I hope to retire someday, and at what point, sooner rather than later, I hope. So
What else?
congratulations.
Back down to 7.
Great,
Mhm.
congratulations.
Any questions or comments on the fire chief's report?
I just was wondering how Tristan is
How, what, I'm sorry?
How Tristan, is that, am I?
He's awesome.
Okay.
He's actually great.
And everybody's,
He is fitting in great, he works incredibly hard. Every time if I go over there, he's either doing some sort of online training, or they've got him out doing manipulatives, or he's, you know, moving ladders, putting those, I mean, he is a hardworking young man, so I think we got really lucky in that particular hire. Lately, he has actually been doing shifts as a third on the ambulances on his days. So on his days, they've been moving him over to serve as a third, just to get all of his paramedic practice, and so we'll have him, that's kind of the final step to then allowing him to be a standalone paramedic on the engine. Once he gets through that and meets those kind of check-offs that they're looking at from a medical oversight. So everything is actually going really well with that.
Fantastic.
Yeah, no, he was a really great find.
and any more bites for more hires?
Not right now.
Okay.
Nope, had a couple, one was far away, and just, that wasn't gonna work out at this point. Had another interview that we're not moving on with.
Okay.
All right. I'm just curious for the Oaks at Marinwood.
Mm-hmm.
Have they reached out to you at all, or is this just
yes.
general information?
They have reached out, the county supervisor's office has reached out to me, and then obviously a lot of these things have to go through fire code plan checks. So they're not quite at that point right now, they're looking to revise, so they're kind of putting in a planning amendment application, so to speak. They want to change a little bit about how the building layout was going to be, as well as how many total units it's going to have. I mean, all of that's kind of spelled in here. They want to have 91 independent living apartments, 41 assisted, 21 memory care. So they still got to kind of take that back to the planning drawing board to move on that. Once they get planning approval, that's when they can start working towards building permit approval, permits for the road, the bridge, everything else. Our agreement with them, as you remember, we extended, so that carries us through December 2026, which is pretty good timeline for where they're at right now. I actually thank you for reminding me to put this, if I bring a red pen. This was definitely talked about a little bit at the fire commission meeting. There is a link now on the planning website for the county that has all of their kind of updated plans, where it's at in the process. I will send you all just a copy of that link. You're welcome to go on the county website, take a look at it. I need to send it to the fire commission too, because they were interested, so thank you for the subtle reminder.
So it's 158 units with more than 158 people possibly? Because it's apartments. So is there like two?
No, I don't think that you'd have like couples living in them.
Okay.
The only variable there could be is they're actually gonna have 5 intended for staff that are designated affordable housing, low income. That would actually kind of in their own section of the building, not intermingled with everybody else. But it's a pretty interesting rendering that I saw. I mean, these are 4-story buildings with one of the stories kind of being built into the ground, and actually would have, you know, somewhere on either the second or the third story had a elevated walkway connecting it, kind of like what you would see in Minneapolis or something. So all of that was pretty interesting. They changed some of the facade. Also keeping in mind that, you know, a few years ago, this board authorized my position to work with them. They had come to us looking to potentially encroach onto district open space property through the action of doing some grading. That would reduce the severity of the cut needed for the road and the height and length of the retaining walls. I actually think that's a complete win-win-win. So does the county, so do they. It will save them some money, but it actually makes it a much more stable environment. County land use very much liked it because over time, retaining walls fail. And when you're putting in a 12-foot cut into a pretty steep hillside, when you can do some grading and make that a 6-foot cut, with a reduced pressure load coming down the other side, everything seemed to make sense from that. That said, we do have a template of what an agreement would look like, but it's contingent upon final construction plans, which they keep altering. So I'll let you know if that ever moves forward too.
All right, anybody have any other questions regarding the fire chief report? Okay, we keep on rolling. All right, item G, Park and Rec matters. Park and Rec meeting minutes. Anything
I was not
to flesh out? All right.
there. Oh, no, I did go. I did go, sorry. I just wasn't able to give him any information because I hadn't been able to come to the meeting. There was just questions about what other new plans can they consider, and moving forward about like what can Park and Rec plan on doing moving forward, and so it was more of a,
Projects?
yeah, project, so it was more of a waiting for budget, and
Okay.
so that was, right, Luke, that was like the big, there was a question about that, but that, other than that, it was just reviewing.
Yeah, we went through the sort of Parks and Rec activities for the previous couple months and talked about some other stuff. We did talk a little bit about the pickleball pilot project briefly, and I think it goes to.
Oh, and then there was the tennis courts,
The
where
Bears?
possibly Terralunda needs to resurface and do work, and so possibly.
Looking at
Yeah.
whether they would be able to do some sort of double up with their work. Yeah, that was briefly discussed. Yeah.
Very briefly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
don't know whether
How would that work if we're two different entities?
It was a very brief conversation.
It was very brief. It came up in conversation because one of the commissioners does work with Terralunda High School and their tennis team, and they're redoing their things, and was just saying, hey, I don't know if this is in any way, shape, or form possible, but if you guys are looking to do a court rebuild down the line, we're looking to do a court rebuild, if we could do some sort of a joint RFP on this to take advantage of economy of scale, which I don't know that you would get any sort of savings out of it anyway.
Because
To your
it's
point, you have
sides.
two different agencies, you have two different processes. I don't know what their bidding thresholds are, what their bidding policies are. It was,
Brief.
yeah.
Brief, yeah.
Got it.
But it was mentioned, so sorry.
It was an interesting thought. I think it was just, hey, if this could help save both entities a dollar or two, is it worth
Could
it?
you do their bidding for them and then they just pay?
Probably not.
What was the take on the Triple P, the pickleball pilot project?
The sort of the feedback that we've received has been positive enough, and that it seems like it does make sense for us to have pickleball available on a more permanent basis down there. However, probably not until we're able to make the courts a little more playable, because those courts are falling apart, and it doesn't seem wise to be attracting more sports and more participants onto those courts as they continue to open up with more cracks and holes and things. So it's something that kind of like, yes, this seems like the right thing to do, but potentially after we are able to get the courts in a better playing condition. So that's sort of where things left off in the conversation. But.
And that's where it led to the
Okay,
conversation.
right.
Because
Right.
they're still on hold.
Yeah, they are. Okay. I think it would be interesting, and obviously this is more long-term than short-term, but if we go with a full-on redo, do we consider reaching out to the school district about
That was discussed.
like enveloping some of that, not like some of their gopher holes next to the track to make some pickleball courts?
I'm already spearheading.
Oh, are you?
That's already. been
Okay.
discussed.
I've reached out to the district. They put me in touch with their kind of maintenance director. I can't remember the
Yeah.
gentleman's name.
Yeah.
This was, as they were heading into summer, which as you well know, that becomes their busy time.
Yes.
with projects and everything
Yeah,
while
totally.
school's out.
Yeah.
So, we exchanged very brief, just saying, hey, we're chin deep and let's revisit this in the fall.
Okay.
And we've always had good communication with
Yeah.
their maintenance staff too, and so, that was, with Christie and.
I was gonna say, you've got good communication with Christie, so that seems like.
Yeah, Christie Marie, they pointed me
Yeah.
in this gentleman's direction.
Okay.
Yeah, the funny comment from Christie was, I've always wondered what the deal was with those tennis courts, it's like,
Right.
and I said, my understanding is, it's on your property, but
We do make.
we built them, we maintain them, it's kind of a mutual agreement, that, I don't know if it exists in writing anywhere because I've never seen it, but that's
Right.
how it's always worked, and, if we were to do such project, how would we start looking at coordinating it? Not that the school district has a penny to put towards it,
No.
but what they do have is space. And there are other things to think about too, because if we were to kind of expand the footprint, that does change your CEQA dynamics a little bit, because if you're just replacing something that already exists, it's a lot easier for it to be CEQA exempt if you're expanding the footprint, especially in a watershed area. However, the school district has very different CEQA requirements than we do. Like no other person besides the school district would ever be able to get an AstroTurf field built that literally has a corner that hangs over a creek bank. It just would never happen. So it could be advantageous to really partner through with them in that, because it is their property, but ultimately it would be our time.
Right. Right.
So that was most of the discussions.
Okay,
That's all.
cool.
Mhm.
Have you, as the recreation expert that you are, Lou, ever been up to the Hill pickleball courts?
No, not to that one.
You really should. It's Hill Middle School. It's no longer a middle school, right? It's like the Hill.
This is in Nevada, right?
Yeah. If you go all the way out, what is it, DeLong? Go past the Safeway, like until it dead ends.
Indian Valley Road. Two Hill.
No, you go out, you go all the way
Straight
up
to
to like Whole Foods
Right.
in Novato,
Yeah,
and then go all the way out.
It tees off into Hill.
Yeah.
Yeah, where the Mercantile Center is.
Yes.
Yeah.
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 It like.
I did grow up in Nevada.
Right. Sorry, I thought you said go down IVC Road. Not that you're gonna do it tomorrow, but if we do end up working in that direction, they have done a magnificent job. They have bocce courts right there, and they have pickleball courts.
I actually was thinking we should do an expansion of multiple horseshoe pits.
I think we should.
Good.
Basketball courts too.
Dunphy Park is another one that they don't have pickleball, but they have bocce courts that are public and outdoors and why recreate the wheel, right? Take it. That sounds like a staff day.
Absolutely. I've been actually playing pickleball with my family. There's some courts near us in Albany that are reservable, that are like super available, and we can just bike to. And the last like few weekends we've gone out and played. It's been super fun. So, it's like a lot. It's kind of everywhere. So a lot of examples.
Only a few more weeks of summer camp and then, some time might open up.
All right, on to you, Luke, for the recreation and park maintenance activity.
Thank you, Chris. Thanks, everyone. So we're just into our last week of summer. Week 9 just started yesterday, and it's kind of blown by, but it's been a really solid summer. It's been a really great, fun summer. It's been very like chaotic. There's been a lot of things. We've had a lot of all the different things that happened in the summer have all happened this summer, like the injuries and the various like drama and kids having accidents and all the things that you get once in a while kind of all happened, and all happened kind of on the front end this year. But our staff were great. Everyone handled everything really well. The morale stayed tip top the whole time, and I think everyone just had a great time. It was a really positive experience this summer. We had a really, really tight knit team, and I'm just feeling really good about this final week. It just feels really good going into that. We did a couple kind of staff appreciation things this last week with our camp directors and some of our camp supervisors, and just want to kind of recognize them for all their hard work all summer. Because it takes a huge hierarchy to put on this program. 13 different camps, 500 kids a day. like 200 and something staff, not a day, but total, that we're kind of coordinating different schedules, and it's we've got a great team. A lot of people have been returning year after year after year, and I really am appreciative of that, because it'd be really hard to try to do this again with a bunch of brand new people and try to teach them what Marinwood Camps is. That would be virtually impossible. So just having that kind of history and being able to pass the baton has been an integral part of our program, and I really give Robin a lot of credit for being able to keep people coming back. Oh, people always tell us, "Oh, it was my last summer. Oh, yeah, it was so great." Like, and then we see them again, you know, next June. And it's like, "Oh, you came back." So we tend to get a lot of returning staff each year, which has really helps our program go on. So I'm very pleased with the staff. Very pleased with the way the program went. It was full all summer, and we had great field trips this year. Great special events here during those times of animal shows. We're doing dinosaur archaeology of the Panhandle. It's a bunch of obstacle courses, and my kids were here all summer, and they were just having a blast. So it was really fun to just experience that through their eyes as well. So we got another, 3 more days, and then we'll feel really take a big sigh. But it's been a really solid summer. I'm very pleased with everyone that's contributed to that. So. I'll have more updates for the board as all the final numbers and everything come in. We'll be able to kind of talk through how everything went from a financial perspective, but everything was very packed and went really well. So similarly, the pool's been really busy. We had I think this is what the coldest July in I don't know, a very long time, but it's been steady at the pool. Recreation swim and lap swim will continue to be very full. Our swim lesson program has been very well attended. And our guards and training program for the middle school kids that aren't quite old enough to work has been really popular this year. We had a really good staff this summer, and a lot of these middle school kids ended up re-signing up multiple weeks. They wanted to be here, and that was really helpful for us, because those GITs also help out with our swim lesson program as swim buddies for the kids. And so that was a big benefit, and that went really well. So. Very pleased with the pool. The weather is heating up, and the place has been super busy, but it's been going really well. No major incidents to speak of. Lots of just little minor first aid, little normal things, but nothing big. And John Paul has been running very intense trainings with the staff each week, full staff, and then each day a small group meets down there to kind of focus on individual skills to work on things, and then he runs them through these surprise red shirt practice emergencies a couple times a week, and people just kind of get a sneak attack, oh, gotta pretend it's real and respond, and they get evaluated on that. So the guards are on their toes this summer, and it shows. They've been doing a really good job down there, and I'm really proud of that. So we've got a few more months as we close on October 3rd, I think is our last day. So another month and a half or so. But it's been going great. Our most recent event was Music in the Park last Friday, and then before that we had our annual Summer Brew Fest on July 26th, and that was a really fun time. Another great event. We didn't have as many breweries attend in person this year. A lot of people were just short-staffed for whatever reason, but we had a lot of people that ended up donating, and we were able to kind of take from the Lions Club and get people to come and volunteer to pour. And I think to the people attending, it was we don't care who you are, this is good beer, having a good time. But it ended up being a really good event, and we had Forest Fire Barbecue back this year, and Void Where Prohibited is the name of the band, the kind of classic rock covers band that returned again this year, and they were awesome. It was a really great time. I think last year was the coldest day on record, and the year before that it was the hottest day on record. This year was just mild and lovely, and so it was really nice, a really nice time. And Music in the Park this summer has been a blazing hot day every single time. All three have been 90+ degree days, and then by the time the bands took the stage, it was a lovely 80, 85. It was perfect. We didn't have any wind.
And no wind.
I know, it's weird. So
perfect for those of us sitting there. I don't know about the band.
yeah,
The band might be.
the band's been sweating, but it's been great for the audience. So I'm hoping we get to have all four for four. But this last one was great. a great night. And then the last one will take place a week from Friday. It'll be on August 22nd. The band is called Late for the Train. They're a really good indie folk band that I actually saw play in Albany, where I live, a year ago, and they're amazing. And they're actually from here, which I didn't know. So some of the guys like swam on Lucas Valley Lightning, and they know Marinwood Park. So it's gonna be some big homecoming thing for this band, and so I think there'll be a lot of people coming out. And they have a lot of friends that have worked at Marinwood, and so they know John Paul randomly, which was we didn't know that until after they'd already been booked to come here. So I'm really excited for that. I think it's gonna be a really big event on the 22nd for the last hurrah for the music series. So hope you guys are able to make it, but we're really excited for that. Besides wrapping up summer, we're getting ready to start the fall program. So we'll have our preschool program starting, and we have a new fall program that's sort of replacing the after-school program, and we're calling it Kick It, which is a throwback to an old version of that from many years ago. But so that'll be a little bit more informal after-school program that is a little smaller and a little bit more free-form that we're going to try out this fall that we're looking forward to. But our Marinwood review is been sent out to the presses, should be out in the next couple weeks, and we'll have all our fall stuff starting kind of trickling in the coming weeks and months. So we're excited for all that, and kind of we're getting the building cleaned and all the grounds like cleaned up after the camp onslaught to get ready for that. So we'll have a big. What's that?
Still no busing, right, for Kick It?
Yeah, we don't have any transportation still, which that's a huge driver for why the demand has gone way down. So we're kind of changing the program a little bit from being like after school care to being something a little more like opt-in to come and have a chance to do some different enrichment activities and a little bit of homework club type thing, but kind of more of a social club which is kind of what the kids that were coming already were doing anyway. So we're kind of leaning into that to see if we can but we'll see how it goes this fall. But we have a big work week, or a couple work days for our staff that are still around next week. We're going to come in and just kind of help us get this place all like spruced up and organized and kind of make the big transition. All of our storage that we use here during the summer also like kind of transition to being preschool and after school and youth programs and stuff. So it's a big to-do to make the transition. So hoping we have a lot of hands on deck next week. But that'll be a big project. On the parks maintenance side of things, we've been doing some trying to keep our grass alive. The gophers have been just absolutely terrible this year. It's been, I think, one of the worst gopher years that I can remember. And we have a gopher contractor, and they haven't really been able to keep up very well this summer with all the activities. So we've been kind of supplementing. Our own staff have been out there trapping gophers and trying to keep ahead of it. But there's just these like these brown where all the gopher holes were. There's these like pock marks all over the grass, looking terrible. And we've had a couple of irrigation things, but the grass is in relatively good condition. We're going to do a big overhaul after this week to do a big turf treatment and kind of get things looking in good shape for the fall season. This last couple weeks, we had the fence at the park shop. We had that cleaned and a fresh coat of stain put on it. We had some graffiti on there that they were able to get rid of, and it's looking beautiful and should be in good shape for a couple more years. So that's really nice to see, or hopefully more than that. And other things, I don't know if I touched on this last month, but we had to replace the top pool heater that was failing on us. Got that done very quickly. I think from the time we realized it was like less than 2 weeks before we had a new one in place, and we only had to shut down for part of one day to do that project. So that was great. That's going to serve us for a long time, I hope. And then speaking of tennis courts, just the last thing I want to touch on, with those courts 3 and 4 by the middle school being getting in kind of worse and worse condition, staff have gone out and attempted to start patching some of the bigger holes and things that have started to fall apart to see if that is a viable kind of solution or a band-aid for us to keep the courts playable until we can figure out what we're going to do in terms of rebuilding. That obviously is going to happen right away. But the courts are they're in pretty bad shape. Our contractor who has come out and done the top coat treatment has told us, it really doesn't make sense to do this at this point. It's just not lasting long enough to make it, worth it at this point. But so we're gonna try to patch the cracks and see how long we can keep the courts safe and playable before we work with something more permanent. So that's kind of what we're experimenting with right now. We got a bunch of materials and started to go out there and start filling some holes and see how they hold up. So that's kind of an ongoing project as we have time to get out there and when the courts aren't being used. But that's a lot. Sorry, I talked a long time. But please let me know if you guys have any questions about anything that I talked about or anything else. Thank you.
Any questions, comments? I will just say, as somebody who lives across the street from the park and has lived there for most of my life, to see the camps, because they didn't exist, right, until really not that long ago, but to see the camps start and then grow and then grow and then grow, Darcy and I realized that it has become kind of like an annual thing for us to like at 9 o'clock when all the camp noise starts, it's awesome. Like I was just telling Lisa on our walk down here earlier today, it's just like life affirming to see all these kids running around, but it looks so organized. I love how there's the multi-age, and just you can hear like the camps start like doing their chants back and forth in the morning, and it is phenomenal. It like has become, it's become that summer noise for us that just like is so happy. So you guys are doing a great job. I really appreciate it.
For the week and a half, you're actually at home during summer.
Okay.
But Fridays are adorable,
Not-
listening to the kids try to out-cheer each other.
Oh, I know.
I love it. I can definitely hear them in my backyard.
Oh, I bet.
And I can actually hear the words, so they're doing a good job of pronouncing and announcing.
Oh, my kids didn't. I couldn't remember what their camp cheers were. I'm like, what was your camp cheer? Like, I don't really remember. I'm like, I'm coming every summer. I don't know. Everywhere.
But it's really loud. You must be loud.
So they just probably just
Go
yell.
along with it.
I would just follow up on what Luke said with the pool heater for the top pool. That wasn't planned. We had that budgeted. We kind of anticipated that coming, so I think that came in with like within $500.
Yeah,
so
yeah,
that was
it
what
was
we
close,
budgeted
close.
for it. So that was an easy just boom, get it done. And Luke has done a really good job in cultivating a really solid relationship with the person who does in his company that does all that work for us. So the fact that they were able to turn that around so incredibly quickly was amazing. So
Yeah, absolutely.
I would just like to acknowledge both Robin and John Paul again, that we are very, very thankful for the hours that they put in and the passion that they put in to their job. It truly shows through and through. And you too, and the park rec, and everyone else, but during the summer, no.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
Exactly.
I think they're
And
all,
Tiffany for
all
dealing with
ready for week
ADP.
9 to come to
Yeah.
a close.
Yeah.
So all the same. You get
Right.
excited at the beginning of summer, but by the
Correct.
time it goes fast, to Luke's point, but you're like, man, I'm tired.
Yeah.
All right, I'm ready to.
Does Robin
Send-
take
send
time
them
off
back to Chris.
afterwards?
Yeah, everyone takes
Okay.
time. Yeah, it's
Great.
recuperation and vacation and stuff.
Okay.
It's when you guys can go play pickleball for a week.
Exactly.
Board member items of interest, request for future agenda items. Nobody? Alright. I've got 80, what do you want, 803 or 804, Tiffany?
8:03.
We are adjourned. Next board meeting is September 9th.